What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Hello. Again, it feels like it's been 12 years since we've done this.
Well, because we recorded last episode
Friday, so it has been a longer. Okay.
A week and a day, or a week and 2 days. No, we did Thursday last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple days since.
Is my time sensitivity that like minute? And it shouldn't be, because sometimes I have no idea what day it is. That's just a product of my situation at the moment. But
that's what I forgot, because I came in because I'm in like chill mode right now, man. Because I had a weekend and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my girlfriend and I celebrated our 2-year anniversary, the first one after things started opening back up. So it was nice. And we made like an extravaganza. We were planning on going to like out of town, but that's a lot of money. So we decided.
You just drive there, do a little walk.
Yeah, but hotel.
But like out of town, where?
We were gonna go to Galveston, Moody Gardens.
I see.
She's never been to the ocean. Moody Gardens is a lot of fun.
I guess that's possible.
And so we're like, let's give it a shot, but it's expensive.
Okay.
So we decided we'll do that at a later date when we got some cash in our pockets. So instead, we made a 3-day extravaganza around the Dallas Metroplex. Lots of fun stuff to do. Went to Six Flags. That was fun.
Wait, you got on like rides and stuff?
Yeah, I love hopping on
I can't do those unless there's water involved.
None of the water rides are open. So we went on a colder day.
Oh, yeah.
It was surprisingly not busy, so it was really nice. And then I had like 3 of the best meals I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, yeah. You sent me a picture of one of them.
Yeah,
I was
one
pretty
of
jealous.
them. So we went to this Japanese place that we weren't planning on going. We were actually planning to go to a sushi place.
Yeah.
And the wait was like 3 hours to get in. We got on the wait list. Thought, maybe we'll go faster. Who knows? Whatever. And we did some shopping in the area. Then we're like, all right, I'm hungry. She's like, well, I know this Japanese place. Let's go give it a shot. We're like, sure, why not? Oh my God.
Was it relatively local?
Yeah, it was, and it was surprisingly cheap for when we got a lot of stuff.
What did you eat?
I had, I had like teriyaki chicken thing. It was like a bento box.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I had the chicken, which was, it like melted in my mouth, man. It was amazing.
You should put that picture up on there.
And then there was, I should like pop it up.
Yeah.
And then there was, it came with, some classic miso soup. So I ate that to start off. We actually ordered gyoza, but it never came.
What?
Well, I was okay.
Was it on the? You're okay with that?
I know.
Too much food?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, so I ordered it, and I'm a pretty small guy. If you guys aren't watching the
You've been
video.
working out.
True.
You gotta get that calorie intake.
Yes, this is fair, but I'm not I guess I don't look like I could eat a lot of stuff, because the old lady who was taking our order, she said, that's a lot of food. And I said, because I'd never been here before, and I saw teriyaki chicken on the menu. I was like, yeah, let's order it. And she made me a little nervous, and it was a lot of food, because it wasn't just the chicken. It came with a huge box of stuff. I don't even remember what was in it anymore. It was amazing. Fantastic, like this egg thing, and I don't know.
That's the thing with sushi places, is the prices are so expensive. For some reason, it makes me think it's going to be smaller than it is, just because it's sushi, like little bits of food.
It wasn't like a super fine dining place, but it came off that atmosphere, so I expected it to be, expensive, small portion.
If it's the area that we're in, like target audience sort of shit, or pretty much always when you order some sort of meat dish or soup at a sushi place, it's like way more than you expect, because you get a couple things of sushi, like
there was tempura on it. It was crazy.
Jam one of them.
And then we got some takoyaki or something.
Takoyaki?
Yeah, the little balls. Is that what they are?
Yeah. Fried taco balls.
And
balls.
she's never had them in a place that she liked them.
Really? They're chewy for me.
Yeah, they've never been too great when I've gotten here. Everything we ate there was fantastic.
Nice.
And then we ate another place, and I got a cinnamon pancake, apple cinnamon pancake. Oh my God. I had it again today. It was that good.
Damn.
I ordered it again.
Holy shit.
It was super local.
See, he's not the type of person that like freaks out about food too much. His favorite restaurant is
the final thing. Now, this one blew my mind. Almost as much as a Japanese place, but it's much more expensive, so we're going to go there very rarely. We had fondue for the first time. And it was first time I've ever had like a multi-course meal. So you get in there, and they start with your cheese fondue, right? And you can dip stuff and eat it. Amazing. Okay. And then they bring you pick from an array of meats, or it can be vegetarian. And then they bring you like various forms to cook it, but they bring you a way to cook your meat, and you do it in front of you. Oh my God, it was incredible. And there's different sauces, and they bring you like a paint palette plate to like mix and match your sauces. Incredible. And then it finishes with like a chocolate fondue. And they do it all in front of you. It was fantastic. It was $100 total, so 50 a person. It wasn't terrible.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it was not bad at all. But man,
did you get any fancy drinks?
She got some wine. I had this kind of frustrated me. I got this it's like very very lemonade. It was like $7. It wasn't terrible. I was like, you know what, we're having fun. I'll try it.
Might as well.
Tasted good. And then she saw that I was out, and she said, "Do you want any more?" The waitress did, and I said, "You know what? Sure, why not?" She said, "Well, it is an extra charge." I was like, probably not worth it.
I think she told you.
Well, then she said, what I can do is tell the guy, the bartender, because they put like special juice in it or something. So I can tell the bartender to get lemonade and put strawberries in it and taste basically the same thing, and you don't have to pay for it. And I said, sure, let's do that. Tasted the same thing, man. I'm telling you.
What did they take out of it?
I don't know. I don't know what's in the other thing, but it was free. And it tasted the same as the lemonade I
got the money out of it. You got your free ticket, so there you go.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it was 3 of the most incredible meals of my entire life.
He really doesn't talk about food this much. So I was very, very surprised to receive it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, well, we already offered. We'll take Braxton to this Japanese place. And yeah, I think you'll dig it.
Let's fucking go. I haven't had good food in a while.
It's right next to the anime shop, manga store that
down there?
Yeah, it's literally across the road. That sushi place was one that was like 3 hours away.
I don't think I've been there. Oh, all right. Sometimes the wait is a lie.
Yeah, that's what we thought, because we just gotten out of I don't remember what we were doing. We were doing something, and then we were like, oh, let's get on the wait list, and it was like a 10-minute drive to it. And yeah, it's 3 hours. I'm like, well, let's just get on it. We'll see. We went shopping in the manga store and looked around, and that hadn't budged. So we were finishing our meal, and that's when we got the text that our table was ready.
Man, I wonder what it is about that place. I mean, apparently it's really freaking good.
Oh, and I saw the Batman, which was pretty good.
Oh, was it?
It was very good. I liked it.
So last side topic before I jump us in.
Sorry, waffle
for a while.
You can always skip it. I have the chapters down below on the YouTube video, so you can always skip it if you don't care for a
You
waffle.
might have seen, like, if you're perusing the little Discord that I've got with some of my streamer friends, a VTuber interviewed Robert Pattinson.
I didn't watch it, but I saw that.
I mean, it's really awkward, but you got to imagine, like, okay, or Pattinson.
Was it just him, or was it?
It was him and the co-star. I don't know.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz. So, props to them. It doesn't seem like they're involved in VTubing or any sort of anime
He's
community.
He's a big nerd. But she's not so much.
Well, their faces were like, this is something. Okay, this cute, tiny little anime girl speaking Japanese.
They saw the VTuber model.
Yes,
that's funny.
And I wonder how they were translating, if they got questions in advance, because it was edited and cut and responded. But it was clashing of like worlds, man. It was, and I don't know how this happened, because Whole Live isn't like a massive world-renowned thing outside of its own community.
I mean, I guess they just, I don't know how you interview
the
people,
PR people were like, hey guys,
if they're going on these routine, I don't know what they're called, tickets, where they go down and interview lots of different people. I guess it's easier to do that than say travel to Japan and interview this person. They just like, let's just hop on a Zoom call or something.
But it was amazing.
That's cool. Robert Pattinson seems like a cool guy.
He was really cool. They were great sports about it. He was like, "Oh, which suit would you want to wear?" And Lopez was like, "Oh, Catwoman." He's like, "Well, would we get the mask for your owl too?" It was a crow, but it was just so good. But anyways,
movie thumbs up.
I want to watch it.
A dark, broody Batman.
Yeah,
it's basically a dark, broody Batman.
He's dark, broody Ryan.
I am. Yeah, sorry, just took off my hood. He's not as dark, broody Braxton.
Not today. And this is the food crawl. Now we're talking about food. I'm just kidding. Dungeon crawl. One of our favorite things in the world.
Yeah, we used to joke, but we're going to change our name to the Unearthed
Arcana crawl. For a while there, they were releasing a ton of stuff. God, yeah. And I think it's probably before they made the decision to start really working on the refresh for 5e.
That was before Xanathar's, I think. Or for Tasha's, sorry.
Before Tasha's, yeah. I don't think we started this before Xanathar. I think Xanathar's was out before our time. But another UA came out, and we actually found, before people in our Discords told us about it, I think you sent it my way. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, because one of our people in our home game actually posted it in our home Discord. And I was like, whoa, I had not even heard about this. Yeah. And it's pretty cool.
Usually I'm... like, they haven't been towards me very often as a Warlock player. I think they're keeping that close to their chest because they don't know what they're doing with that yet.
Yeah, they're like, my God, we got to figure something out.
And some of them seem like you can tell what source material this is going to be or where it's going to go in the future, but they become increasingly vague with where they're pulling things, what they're editing in particular. But this one...
Except for the one that said Mages of Strixhaven.
That's true. It's kind of hard to hide that. But for this, Unearthed Arcana 2022, Heroes of Krynn is pretty... obvious of where it's coming from.
Yes, coming from the land of Krynn.
Yes.
Specifically from Dragonlance, which I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big Dragonlance kind of guy.
So I think we should start with that, honestly. I was doing some research, surprise, and Dragonlance is pretty controversial.
Yeah.
Now, I am as basic research done into. I haven't read Dragonlance itself.
I've never read any of the novels. No, I read one of the novels. I can't remember what it was. But there's a huge book series in Dragonlance.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure multiple book series. Like it's kind of like the Drizzt stuff for Forgotten Realms.
That's a really relevant thing too.
Yeah, there's a whole group. And if you walk into like a half-price book, they'll have a gigantic section full of just Dragonlance books. And people that like it love it. I mean, it's some people grew up on that stuff, and it's just like the Forgotten Realms has been around for a long time, but it hasn't really been used in 5e at all.
So let me ask, because there were a few comments online saying that, hey, Watsy, you've come out and said Dragonlance is somewhat racist, that has a lot of racist ideas in it. And now we're rehashing it, to which the counter argument to that is, yes, they've been rehashing a lot of their questionably written content to be not so questionable or oppressive of certain groups. So to me, it's fine that they're bringing it up again. But was this, and this can be off or on, but was this as controversial as, say, the rework of some of the content of peoples within Strahd? Like, is it that level of blatant kind of misrepresentation? Or is it just standard, fantasy stuff of this genre has been bred within racism for a while?
To comment on it, because I like I said, I've only looked into it a little bit and read a few things. Like I love the gods from Dragonlance.
Yeah, they seem interesting.
They're the ones I usually get most of my influence from. I like those ideas more than the Forgotten Realm guys. And the lore behind it's interesting, but I don't know a lot of the cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah. So anybody that's watching this, if you are more knowledgeable than us, I'd be really interested to read, because sometimes it's
comment down below if you've read the books. Tell me your favorite. I'd love to read one. They're pretty short, so I could read one of them maybe. And
then to get further into not controversial, is that what is on Reddit whenever you see posts that have low downvotes but high comments? It's not controversial, is it?
I think it says controversial.
Maybe that's what it is. But to go further down that line, there's a race known as the Kender that is also revisited in this that I was not aware of before.
Yes, it was popularized in AD&D.
Yes, people are both really excited or really upset that this is being brought back. I have not seen anybody in the middle.
I've not seen anyone excited for that. I've seen people excited for the reworks.
I've seen people excited for it.
Really?
Alone, yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking.
Well, I mean,
maybe they played it back then.
Yeah, exactly. So, to summarize it, the Kender are people who have magical abilities in past sources to steal things from people's pockets magically.
Yeah.
And they believe it comes from, for example, hammer space. It's just something that they've grabbed unknowingly, and they're like, oh, wow, look at this magical item that came from my magical powers of chaos magic, blah, 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 blah. People are like, hey, that's my thing. You took it from me. And they're like, no, I didn't.
Yeah, they don't really know the difference between like personal belongings.
So,
I think it's something for everyone to have.
Bad topic to go on right now. But essentially, it's like thievery gaslighting.
Yeah,
and it's never fun to have a rogue.
Which, I mean, I guess they don't understand it.
They don't, which works.
The player does.
But from a perspective of not fantasy storytelling, which I'd be okay with a race like this existing. Like there are people that steal stuff and definitely have different ideals. It's okay. But as a player, I don't like. It's happened to me before. We've got a rogue in our party, and I'm sleeping, and I'm like, okay, Deem, I'm taking every precaution because I know they're going to do. I'm going to sleep on my stuff, under my stomach, or in my pants. In my bag of holding with my hand on it.
Like you also have an item that can keep watch.
Yeah, I'm like,
as well.
I don't like this isn't fun. Like, don't be all quirky, haha about don't steal my stuff. Like, I'll share things. Just ask me.
The Kender was definitely the race from AD&D that people that were gravitating towards it were that type of player that wanted to cause havoc.
There's a lot of comments
steal
like
things
that,
and.
They do it regardless. Like some people are saying that.
It's definitely one of the more hated races.
And they've been revisited, and the nature of their magic has been altered from its source.
Yes, and they're also like halfling size in nature, and there were a lot of theories that the halflings and some of the people gravitated to the halflings. Like changed. What am I trying to say? That halflings kind of inspired vice versa.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to.
No, I got distracted.
My cat. Like, whenever the cat gets on the desk, I'm like, "Oh, there's so many things over there. You're usually not allowed." But she seems like she's doing okay.
Sniffing something. But the Krynn were used as inspiration for like a halfling type race later.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people are like, just play halfling and take these things. I'm like, oh, that's not as good. So, can?
Oh, now I was getting involved. Oh no.
Okay.
Slide over there. Yeah.
Lead us in. I think that's good enough of a background into the controversial stuff that's been going on.
Yeah. So this was made by Ben Petrozor, F. Wesley Schneider, and the lovely Jeremy Crawford. I did a quick little look on at least our other two friends here, Ben and Wesley, and they're both wizards designers, of course.
Let's say they're both wizards. Like, what the fuck?
Ben Petrozor's worked on MTG a little bit. Before being, I guess, a D&D consultant or D&D guy. And then F. Wesley Schneider, actually he's for Pathfinder, and now has moved to the dark side of D&D.
Is this the dark side? Because it depends on your perspective.
Well, it's interesting. You could say that maybe, now I don't know how much F. Wesley Schneider has had his hand in the D&D cookie pot for a while, or for how long. So some could say that I can see this. There definitely seems to be some Pathfinder influence in this Unearthed Arcana. At least the feats and a couple different things seem to be a little more Unearthed a little more Pathfinder than typical.
I've come to understand that Pathfinder is basically like 17 through 20th level D&D, but the damage numbers are lower. It's like from 5th level, they're doing the amount of stuff that like 20th level people are doing.
Yeah, I find interesting that Pathfinder First Edition was an offshoot of 3.5e edition, and they obviously were inspired by that. They liked that style of play, and they made their own version. And now I feel like D&D needs to or is starting to copy a little bit and be inspired by what Pathfinder Second Edition is doing, and they're almost like, going back to old editions and pulling from each other, which I think they should, because I don't think D&D's in a great place right now.
No, but they're trying to put it in a different place. We don't know for sure where it's going to be, because we have no idea. There's a ton of feedback in the comments directly below their posting on Twitter about this, so they've got plenty of stuff to read.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and there is your standard fare of information on how ability scores work, which is the basic standard. Turn everybody into a variant. They can do 1 and 2, 2, which is kind of how Pathfinder does it as well. It gives you more freedom. Creature type explanations that they've changed and have kept consistent with all the new stuff that's coming out. Their lifespan comment, which has been reworked to address the, these some races do live longer than a typical human's lifespan and height and weight and blah, blah. Then it gets into Kender.
The Kender, baby.
So we've already given our background on it, but the big first thing to mention is that rather than having their magic bound within the chaos of the world, it's from the Feywild, the whimsical magic of the Feywild. And
which makes sense. I mean,
it works to me. I've read people are like not
pretty tricky.
Like, I want my chaos Kender, and I'm like, well, okay, well,
you can always rework it.
It's fine. And it's placing their not thievery now, but due to their curiosity, they found themselves falling through crazy stuff. Maybe this is how they got out of the Feywild, and they basically have their own version of hammer space, to which they can pull temporarily lasting items out of, and at higher levels, because it's based off a proficiency bonus, the usage itself on a D6. Say you manage to somehow 4 times in a row while you're at 12th level get 5d6 gold pieces 4 times, and now you can buy the thing at a shop you want, but it's gonna disappear in an hour. So you can see the kind of shenanigans these people can get up to. Of course they're small, and the walking speed is average of 30.
Yeah.
And something that's changed as well is from immunity to the frightened condition, they now have advantage on the frightened condition for themselves. That's another big change that's come about. So the Kender Ace ability is what I referenced just a moment ago. This is something that allows you to get a restrictive list of items by rolling a d6 using this equal to your proficiency bonus times per long rest. And you're going to want a handout to be able to make sure that you know all the things that you can get.
Yes, definitely make a list ahead of time for some.
There's one online.
That's nice.
On Twitter. It's
one.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward and can all be held in one page.
It's like the druid beast or beast transformation list. You got to have that handy, or else you'd be there for hours trying to figure out what you want to transform into.
Yeah. Do you like this? I mean, it's similar to the other ability. It's not literally stealing somebody's item.
I like it much better. Yeah. If we're gonna have a Kender race in 5e, I like this much better. I like the justification, the reworking, especially where it says where is it? That because of this ability, that this has led many Kender to be mislabeled as thieves.
Mislabeled.
So it's taking the old edition
Yeah.
perception of this and kind of tossing it to the side and poking fun. But I like the ability. I will say that if you do not have a list ahead of time, this could really bog down the game.
Yes, there's one on Twitter directly under the post. I think I took a screenshot of. Maybe we'll try to get it under there. But this obviously could change, so don't hold it forever. I do enjoy it. I think if I was playing a Kender, I got 3rd level, I'd be pretty damn excited. This is adding a lot of intricacies to what's called, like, say you're at a shop literally and you're like, okay, I've got 1 in 6 chance to be able to
What's my pocket?
Like 5d6. That's at least 6 gold pieces, and at 3rd level, like, that's not an insignificant amount of stuff.
No, I mean, gold pieces are gold pieces.
But let's imagine the situation of, oh, shopkeep, I don't have enough money right now. You come back like a second later, you're like, here's the money, and he's like, where did you steal that from somebody?
Here's a grappling hook. Can I trade? Sell this?
So sometimes it's definitely not going to be useful, but that's the whole point of this. You're literally banking on your Feywild magic to pull something out of your bunghole. But the taunt ability, wow.
Yes, taunt ability. It doesn't. I like it.
It's good. It's too good.
But it doesn't. I feel like it shouldn't be called taunt because you're not really taunting a creature to attack you.
I swear.
Oh my God.
It's because I put the blanket. He's gonna hunker down in a second.
There you go. He's like, what did I just knock off?
Yeah.
Who cares? It's not really a taunt. It's not like, because whenever I hear taunt, I immediately just think of MMOs where you're like shout, and then all the enemies from around come to fight you. This, from my understanding, just has disadvantage on attack rolls to a creature.
I think their language flavored it like a taunt, at least.
Yeah, you're tossing insults at somebody. And they have to understand you, so it can't be a different creature.
Keep talking. I have some thoughts on it, but I gotta get my freaking kitties. I swear to goodness.
Causing havoc. But it has to be a creature can understand you, so it can't be, like a beholder or something that speaks a different language.
Yeah, so it does have its limits, but I mean, at will, per proficiency bonus, it's not one time per long rest.
It's a bonus action.
Bonus action that has full scaling, the same as a spell would, at least for the DC, and just full disadvantage on it, not against you. It's attack rolls until the start of your next turn. Like that, it's game changing.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's a race.
Yes. Yeah, so you can use it. It'll be with you forever. You can use this bonus action for as long as you like using it, as long as you have the proficiency bonuses to use it.
So I think this is a good point to talk about 2 things. One, power creep.
Oh, okay.
And things other than class and subclass having powerful abilities.
Yeah.
Do you like that? And this is a kind of an allusion to what's going to happen with feats in a moment, but do you like that feats and races are providing more impactful abilities?
Well, I'd say don't worry, because in Monsters of the Multiverse, we're going to see a whole rework of... Oh, wait, that came out and nothing changed, right? So I don't know. I was expecting, my illusion there, I was expecting with Monsters of the Multiverse, we'd see more of this type of style. But I guess it's a lot of work and something we'll probably see in the 5.5e edition. So here, I think we chatted about this before, and we've done this on the podcast before, but it will come to a point, especially with some of these backgrounds and feats later, that why would you pick anything else? Why would, unless you're obviously more care about the role playing than anything else, but you have those people, and Braxton's sometimes one of those people that wants to make like the best character. You want to be powerful. You want to feel like you're doing something. And if you are objectively picking the not as good choice,
feels bad.
It feels bad, especially if there's someone else in your party that did that. Like, man, that guy's doing everything that I wish I could do. Yeah.
Having a 3rd level taunt that at 3rd level you have what's your proficiency bonus? Is 2?
I think it's just 2 still.
So twice you can make the big enemy of your fight have disadvantage for an entire round, especially if it's like it has to succeed on a whiz saving throw, but that's interesting. I just thought it was a topic that should be brought up, because the Sorcerer subclass, as that's the end of the Kender thing, it's quite a beefy thing. Yes, this subclass is by far the, I think, strongest subclass we've seen in D&D. Yeah, I would wholly agree. I want to talk. I do think it will probably get reworked. There's a few parts of it that are a bit lazy, and these are playtesting, and it's more than okay to have that in there. So if you're typing at WotC, like, typos and the thing's not in here that's a prerequisite, it's like, yeah, definitely let them know if you see it.
send them a. I don't know how you let them know these things besides the survey that hasn't come out yet. But
so
maybe
did you
tweet at these people?
See any of the comments that were saying, "Hey, this feels like it should just be a wizard subclass, like studying the moon"? And whatnot. I was reading those, and I go in, and it literally says you or someone from your lineage is exposed, has been exposed to concentrated magic of the moon, imbuing you with lunar magic. So,
I could see an argument for it.
I can't. You're literally imbued with lunar magic.
You have to change the lore a little bit, but I could see what they're saying. It could be a wizard subclass, but I don't.
The person who got your lineage imbued with the magic could have been a wizard studying the moon.
I was like, why not have to? My question to that person was, why does it need to be? I mean, what's wrong with the sword? I mean, I guess it can't be because there's meta magic involved here. There's sorcery points. I mean, you can't have a wizard class with sorcery points.
They were saying stuff on like wizards study the moon and stuff like that. I was like, well, that's what sorcerers are. They have innate magical powers gifted or cursed upon them. So this is really fun. That's a bit of the background here. You are at the whim of the powers of the moon. When you cast spells, you glow, or your shadow gets a sort of like event horizon around it.
Like it's some Bloodborne vibes.
Yeah, the flavor of it is really, really cool. And
which ties into the little knowledge I have of Dragonlance. The moon's a big part of it.
Yeah, they talk about several worlds and how the moons are involved. And don't worry, there are features you get that are based on the phases of the moon, but aren't at the mercy of your DM telling you what the phase is. You pick.
I got a question for you. I wish it was.
I think.
Because I think it'd be cool. Because I think there's an objective best phase.
Yeah.
So why would you ever pick a different phase?
Is that phase still the best if it weren't for the spell that is not supposed to be where it is?
No, I think it's still pretty. Let me double check that I have here.
Like, did you say full moon?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, I would want to play like that, but I think it's better they have it this way.
So I do hear the argument of
how many DMs are going to track the fucking moon phases.
It's more moon phases, and especially with moons that have or a place that have multiple moons type of stuff. And maybe I'm just a crazy person because I have the moon phases mapped out in my world.
And you can, so you can fully say, but that is a nerf to the class, I will say. So this is the more powerful.
Yes, it definitely is, but I feel like it's more interesting because then you have, and you still have at least, I don't know how fast moon phases change, but at least like 4 days with each package, and then it can change. You can kind of adapt on the fly.
I will say the 18th level thing, that does put it at a third of its power because you're able to do each of them until you have to do a long rest to get the usage back for Lunar Phenomenon, which we'll talk about in a moment.
You can use each of them?
Yes, because you're able to swap which ones you are as a bonus action.
Oh, yes. This is true.
You only cannot use this ability again once you've used all of them. So that's another big nerf. Unless you spend
some sorcery points.
Yeah, you spend sorcery points. Maybe you can change it to, you can do it 3 times.
Or you can change the phase of the moon yourself.
That would be kind of sick. Or at least like cover the moon with some sort of thing.
Or temporarily.
So jumped around a lot there. One of the coolest things about this is immediately at first level, you're getting some of the most shit.
Go back to there.
Ever any subclass gets. And granted, sorcerers are people that get first level features, right?
Yeah, let me check to see how many spell slots they get. Because I think that'll be important coming up here in a minute.
Well, right now, it's going to be important. And I will say, your wizards and sorcerers already have a ton of spell slots.
True.
Already.
And you have meta magic, so you can
get more.
Make some more.
Now,
so when you get these at first level, right?
You get them at first level.
So level, you have 2 spells. Two spell slots.
But now you have one more spell slot that you can use. Essentially, it's like a Mystic Arcanum without expending a spell slot. So at first level, you get the ability that is a Lunar Magic feature. You are, I believe, able to choose at this point full moon, new moon, or crescent moon on your own. Whichever one you want to have, and you're able to swap them as a bonus action or using a sorcery point to do a bunch of fancy things. But you, full moon, get Fairy Fire, new moon, Dissonant Whispers, and crescent moon, Sanctuary, which kind of flavors how they're going to be later on.
Can you change this? I think you only change that's
a 6th level. Is it long rest? Ooh.
Yeah, it is only, it's in that paragraph right underneath the table. I think it says when you finish a long rest, you can choose what lunar phase manifests its power through your magic.
I think there's an ability later that allows you to swap it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, waxing and waning is what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Once you get to 6th level, you can change it with a bonus action.
I just found it super interesting. They're just straight up giving you
Get some powerful spells here.
More spell slots. And at the point of the height of your level, it's 1st through 9th. Mm-hmm. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more spell slots at the peak of your power. Which is Warlock, please. Ooh, dipping into this as a Warlock if you're wanting to go full caster.
Yeah.
Just getting more spells would be absolutely stellar. I just was blown away that this is happening.
Because like you said, you get these all the way until you hit 9th level. And that's a lot of free stuff you're getting up. Every 2 levels, you get a new one. 1st level, 3rd level, 5th, 7th, and then finally 9th.
Yeah, it's a dedicated spell slot for the spells that you get. Now, a lot of people are pointing out that at 5th Sorcerer level, you get Death Ward, which is a 4th level spell.
Yes.
At when you should only be able to cast 3 3rd level spells. So it's interesting. How does that work? Why did this happen? Is it an oversight?
I don't think it's an oversight, but it definitely could be. I think it just is. I think it's just saying that you can use this free spell slot to cast it before you are able to cast it. You only can cast it once a day.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Cast it for free.
And when you think about it, going to 7th level, and I don't have the table right in front of me, but is that when you would get access to 4th level spell slots?
4th level spell slots, you get 7th level.
Okay, so interesting. There is the opportunity to put it in the correct spot, but they did not. Mm-hmm. And there is a spell, freedom of movement, where it was, so I'd be interested to see the choice. I'm not opposed to getting things like this.
What level is freedom of movement, do you know?
No.
Let me check.
I do not.
What if we check and every level's one level above?
Yeah. I didn't see anybody else freaking out about it, but Death Ward is just really good
powerful
in general. So while he's looking up that, essentially you're getting Mystic Arcanums at 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level for people that know Warlocks.
4th level spell.
So it makes sense. Just this one, they're like, make you a little bit more powerful. Maybe they didn't find one that would be useful or fit in that slot for the new moon phase.
Yeah, and the 9th level spot, Mass Cure Wounds, also matches up with 5th level spells. So it's an interesting choice.
Interesting. So, Lunar Boons, your 6th level thing that you're getting here. They give attributes of schools of magic to each of them. Full moon being abjuration, conjuration, new moon being evocation, necromancy, and crescent moon being divination, transmutation. I found it interesting that new moon wasn't necromancy and divination or stuff like that, but I guess evocation has some healing spells within it now, which is cool. So whenever you use meta magic on a spell from the lunar spells table or a spell school of magic associated with that lunar phase you're in, you can reduce the amount of sorcery points that costs to 0. It doesn't say minimum of 1. It says literally to 0, which is really cool.
You can use that for a quicken spell. You can use it for a lot of different. You guys have not looked at the meta magic options. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
You can do with that.
So what I'm loving about this is my adversity to spellcasters is there's so much variety that it feels like there isn't variety, and you're picking from the same spells that every caster is. Now, if you're doing a martial class, it can kind of feel the same way, but to me, I feel like there's more of a nuance there. But this really puts a big filter, every ability you're getting in this subclass, a big filter on the magic.
There's a lot of stuff to think about as you go. This is definitely not baby's first D&D class. This is not where you're going to want to pick up when you first get into the game. There's a lot of different things to be thinking about as you're going through.
Yeah, do I want to switch to full moon now to be able to cast this spell for free and lower this? There's a lot of levels, like Ryan said. And you're getting all uses of this when you finish long rest. It's equal to your proficiency bonus. And then waxing and waning, when you hit 6th level as well, you can spend a sorcery point to change your lunar phase for a different one. There is no cooldown on that. No. So you can just change them as you want, which becomes critical later.
Sorcery points.
True. So that is the limit, I guess. Lunar empowerment. I'm going to take this away. I feel like I've been stealing all the words.
I don't mind you stealing the words.
Okay.
But lunar empowerment, same thing. Whatever phase you're in, that seems to be the shtick here. Whatever phase you're in can do different things. For example, you can shed light, so you'd be like a walking torch going around. You have advantage on stealth checks, so the opposite of being a walking torch. And then you have resistance to necrotic and radiant damage.
Which could be insane, especially for where we're at in our home game. But I feel like I want to talk about full moon again.
Yeah, I like full moon.
I mean, the inconvenience of constantly shedding a bright light and dim light out to a total of 20 feet can be a problem. You can swap it. But the thing you didn't mention is everything within your light has advantage on saving throws. You and creatures. So unfortunately,
of your choice.
Oh, of your choice? It's in there?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. But that's...
So do you like a paladin?
That's powerful.
You all get advantage on saving throws within 20 feet, possibly.
That's really powerful. This is at 14th level. A lot of people might already have advantages and disadvantages on things, so where it doesn't matter. But
this is true, but
it's real strong. And then Lunar Phenomenon. This is like 3 ultimate abilities that you can each cast once per long rest. So you've got 3 out of 3 uses, essentially. 1 for full moon, 1 for new moon, and 1 for crescent moon. And with your previous ability, being able to swap for each phase, you're able to have a lot of variety of, I'm going to do my full moon burst and swap over to switch to something else and gain my dexterity. Like, there's so many moving parts to keep track of this.
So at 18th level, you have 18 sorcery points. It takes 1 sorcery point to switch. And you could, in theory, then refresh this ability with another 5. So you have a lot of uses of these if you don't want to obviously use them for other meta magic abilities.
So that's why being locked to the actual phase of the moon is really, really rough. But
cool.
It is fun. It's really fun. Maybe throw an item in the world that you can get
I guess
that unlocks it.
you could rework this final ability to where you can still access those. Just maybe you spend a same sorcery point and you can manifest the moon within yourself.
Maybe an item of planar moons that you can peer into and look at the phase of a moon of another world.
That'd be cool.
Something like that. And it just lets it do
multiverse type stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, what does it do essentially? And the point of how frequent you can do these makes sense for why some of them aren't like crazy strong, because full moon is 3d8.
Oh, I didn't realize. Sorry, I don't want to cut you. I didn't even realize that as the bonus action to use this ability, you can change it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
So when you're changing, you get to ult.
Instead of making you bonus action.
This feels like an Overwatch character or something.
Bonus action next turn.
It's like a MOBA character. It's really interesting. Phases of the Moon shit has always been really fun.
Yes.
Warframe fans, that's my favorite Warframe, and that is a character that is like both halves of the moon.
They could do that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like using like tarot cards for stuff.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting.
It is very interesting. So this, every creature within 30 feet of you must succeed on a con save or be blinded, and one creature within that area gets 3d8 hit points back. So
Which isn't
very
a lot for 18th, but it could be like someone's down. You can easily quickly get them back up while also doing something cool.
It can undo a single hit they took.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's basically the impact of that. And blinding, mass blinding is pretty good.
Yeah, new moon.
New moon, which is allowing you to
within 30 feet, they succeed on a dex save. If they
I got it.
You must succeed on a dex save against your spell space save.
Take 3d10.
3d10 necrotic damage.
Reduce to 0, and you're invisible.
And you're invisible.
So it's like a wombo combo of 3 things.
Or a spell. And then the final one, which is pretty cool, you slip through light and darkness. You can teleport to an unoccupied space within 60 feet that you have to see, and you gain resistance to all damage until the start of your next turn.
Yeah. So each of these on their own seem like, well, there are other spells that can do this. But don't forget, it's for a bonus action, and you can do them many times.
You can refresh them.
So I think this is something that if you have a player that typically doesn't pay attention but is really excited about this class, they're either going to be terrible and be like, hold on, like, how do all these things interact? Because when you move one gear, everything changes.
Yeah, I could easily see a certain type of player getting this class and absolutely breaking it. Because I feel like this is why it's an Unearthed Arcana. I could see, that's why WotC is having us playtest these things. I could see if you push this class to the absolute limit, you can be doing stuff every turn, refreshing your spell, your sorcery points, or refreshing your abilities, and meta magic, and all sorts of crazy nonsense every turn.
This is what I like to call a nightmare to put into D&D Beyond. Now, it's no more than just like a check mark or an open tick box to show which ones you're in.
This is probably why they took off Unearthed Arcana stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to go through the hassle of putting all of this on if WotC is going to change it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So I super agree.
But
I love it.
Yes, I think as cool as this class is, the amount of stuff you can do as a bonus action compared to a different class that has like no bonus action abilities, it just, again, feels like if you're going to play Sorcerer, you should probably pick this one. It's the most powerful one. You can do lots of crazy cool stuff.
Yeah. It's one of those things, too, that you're not going to be picking a lot of things outside of this class that use your bonus action because it's pretty much dedicated to the sections in this. Like for your Rangers that are using Hunter's Mark, and stuff like that. Like
type stuff.
Always out there. So I like that they addressed that by making your 6th level and 18th level stuff work together rather than needing to use 2 bonus actions.
Yeah, that would be annoying to change your bonus action one turn.
I bet they didn't have it that way at first. And they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, somebody I was playing, it's like, this does not feel fun to waste a bonus action just to change it. Well, I guess to be fair, you could change the phase and do something with a free spell that turn. Yeah. But still.
It's really cool. This is the first time I feel like it's a chunk of things rather than like an ability that does a decent amount of damage or social interaction, and then like flavor. 3 other flavor abilities.
Yeah, this is a full-on like class. I could see, like, I almost feel like this in my mind, like an MMO class where you can like click a button to change the phase. You get different abilities to pop up. You can do those abilities, click another button, change the phase, do something else, cool stuff.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people saying this just doesn't line up with the design philosophies that currently exist, and I will say that's the point.
That's probably why it's here. It's A, so we can test it. B, maybe that's the direction they're going, which I'm all on board.
Yeah, Warlock's gonna be so cool if they can manage
this. I'll be
this.
Down with this. So this is the future D&D.
Yeah. And that rounds it up for like the 2 major things, but the sleeper hits here are the backgrounds. Honestly, I think there's some interesting things here. I will say for those of you that are annoyed with how much new backgrounds are adding to things, feats themselves, entire spells, you might not like this. It seems to be the trend they're going.
So after, I guess we don't need. I'll ask after these backgrounds. Remind me to ask you a question.
I'll try to remember.
I'll try to remember as well.
I'll try to remember that. So. We don't need to get too much in the weeds. I mean, the first one is Knights of Slumnia, which are protectors of the weak, and
which these guys are in Baldur's Gate 2. I don't know. I think they might be in 1 as well.
Okay.
But some of the stuff is in some of the old games. If you want to,
can I say how silly it is? How many backgrounds give you a musical instrument? There's so many. People never use them, but it makes sense. Like if you're,
I used it in R. No,
you did.
Did I? I can't remember if I had one. I know I played piano and sang. That was pretty sick.
That was a good time. So this is your typical knight that when they go around the world, they find people of their similar rank.
Valor.
You get free lodging. You can stay with them. Your typical skill proficiencies, languages, tool proficiencies. The cool thing is they do get feat, which grows with them.
They immediately get a feat.
Yeah, grows with them as they go along.
And it's the only way to get said feat is by taking this background.
Just like some of the Strixhaven stuff, which the Strixhaven feat that gives you spells and whatnot. And that book was something that people are putting in their games, even if there isn't Strixhaven, because it is just the best thing to take.
Which I could see being annoying if you are looking at these feats, which we'll get to in a minute, that build off of each other, and you're like, I really like this feat, but I can't use this feat because I already picked a different background when we started the game.
Yep. And I'm kind of feeling that way because these are really cool. And then I think before we get to the feat, I want to talk about how their traits are more ideals.
Yeah, they give you options or some ideas, I guess I should say, on how to make a character that fits into this background.
Yeah, these are less personality traits to me and more like the ideal section that used to show up on character sheets.
Yeah.
Like things I live by rather than things I am. I pledge my sword to the greater good. If I must perish in pursuit of that good, so be it. Like that's not a personality trait, is it?
Yeah, I think a better way to say that as a personality trait would be,
I'm extremely loyal. Done.
I don't know. Maybe I'll find the word eventually. But there's definitely, you could boil it down to an actual personality trait. Yeah. But this is, I mean,
it gets the same point across. It's just a semantics thing.
Think about it differently. Yeah.
Yeah. And you get trinkets and.
The hell?
All right. But then Mage's High Sorcery is very similar.
This shows how much we've done Unearthed Arcana. And then you get this.
Mage of High Sorcery is very similar, but it poses a more interesting entry.
But Mages in Dragonlance?
What is over there? Glad you mentioned that's exactly what I was talking about. It used to be the Wizards of High Sorcery or something like that. Mages of Dragonlance, there's a descriptor later on. That modern spellcasting classes didn't exist. It used to be known as the Wizards of High Sorcery and is now evolved into the Mages of High Sorcery. You Dragonlance people who are upset that they're altering things, this is why it's evolving. I guess it's okay or it's bad, depending on your point of view of it. Take it as you will. It's exactly the same thing from there. It's a feature that grows as you become more renowned in the world. You become initiate to other sorts of things. I don't know. We'll get there when we get to the feats, which is where we're going now.
And they give you ideas on how to build your character into those things.
The most important part of feats,
My question to you.
Okay.
I remember my question. He forgot.
I didn't forget. I thought we were talking about the end of it. So I was incorrect.
My question to you. Now, these backgrounds could easily be taken out of Dragonlance, but because I know your issue with like, what's it, Artifice? I can't remember. One of the things you felt like it was stuck in like Eberron or something. It felt weird to take it out, you know?
Yeah.
Does this feel weird to use outside Dragonlance? Either of these things? Yeah, I don't think so.
A group of knights that pledge for good and want to quash evil is the least original idea that has ever existed.
What about like Kender, the Lunar Magic stuff?
I'm just really flexible. I don't think these are in particular, but I think it was.
I can't remember what it was anymore.
It was something in Strixhaven.
Might have been Strixhaven. I feel like it was older. I can't remember.
It might have been older. I don't know. It's definitely happened before though. So these feats. Feet, man, I feel like feet. These are gonna be fun for you. So, Squire of Slumnia is the starting thing of the Squires itself.
It's like a Dark Souls or like Elden Ring.
It kind of is, but I guess it starts with flavorings of magic and how the planar alignment works with them. You've got the Adept of Black Robes, Adept of Red Robes, and Adept of White Robes, which respectively are evil, neutral, or nothing, and good.
I find it interesting there is that the prerequisite is any non-good alignment or any good alignment type of thing. I don't think I've ever seen that in Feat before, which is interesting too, because I'm pretty sure they said recently that we're going to be getting away from alignment-based stuff.
I think maybe they decided it's too intrinsic to the source material that it comes from.
Maybe, yeah.
But then again, you could say the same that the Kender were important to stay that way because of a lot of writing. You're just staring right at me. Hello. But I think they're pretty cool. These three, and I'm not going to go directly into all of it as it all boils down to the same thing.
Yeah.
But essentially you get a second level spell that you get to pick based off of the flavoring of whatever robes you're part of that you can cast without expending a spell slot. Yes, Warlocks, this is a second level Mystic Arcanum for you. Hell yeah. It's cool. I like it. But in order to be able to take these, you have to level up to a high sorcery initiative, essentially.
Yes.
Now, whether you're Ryan, your DM is Ryan, and he says, well, you haven't got enough renown in this place to be able to get this feat, and you get to 4th level, and you're screwed. But I love this a lot. It is a feat that gives you more ways to build a character. Now, there aren't a lot in the game because they're currently creating them, so people are a bit salty about it because, well, now, WotC, you need to go back and rewrite all the other feats to then give, or all the backgrounds to give feats to people. It's like, well, spoiler alert, they are doing that.
Okay, so I'm a little confused.
What are you confused on, my sir?
Okay, so, for example, let's just take the Black Robes one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the prerequisite's 4th level. It's gotta be 4th level, first of all. High Sorcery Initiative feat, which doesn't exist, and then any non-good alignment. Now, I assume this is probably just wording-wise they screwed up somewhere along the lines, because the Initiate feat I assume they're referring to is the Initiate of High Sorcery feat, right? But then it says there, prerequisite Apprentice of High Sorcery, and I guess that's the feat you get if you take the background?
Yeah, this is something that has been pointed out in the comments for sure. So there's content missing that would not allow you to use this in your home games unless you read between the lines or created your own stuff.
Yeah, because so the feature you get from the background says you gain the Initiate of High Sorcery feat, which is the one I just read off, the Initiate of High Sorcery. And I guess the prerequisite Apprentice of High Sorcery is maybe something in the Dragonlance, but it's going to come out. It's
going to be
if you work with the group and you don't take a background, then that's how you're going to get access to it or something.
When you get 4th level, blah blah blah, you get this, or if you get enough renown, you get the blah blah blah.
But at the very least, the wording is wrong. That Adept of Black Robes High Sorcery Initiative feat should say Initiative High Sorcery, I guess.
So it's very important to point that out for anybody that's wanting to do this. But for each one, there's a spell that is flavored or school of magic you can pick from for each of the schools based off of your alignment. And yeah, for you Warlocks that are looking for more spells, it really is a way to do that.
And you get a cool little feature afterwards.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Where you can make them do some stuff with your, drumroll please, your hit die. Whoa!
So cool.
How cool is that? We were just, they're listening to our episode we were talking about. They should use some hit die stuff.
I think it's in particular just the Black Robes one, isn't it?
Yes, there's a few others that get hit die stuff, but the Black Robes definitely
And it's powerful, but you have to be evil.
You have to be evil.
Which sucks, unless it's just intrinsic alignment from where you are and it's not actually your evil. So Life Channel is the one that I want to get into just to give you an idea of how they're using it.
The Knight of the Sword is also hit die.
Yes, which I really love.
And Knight of the Rose.
It's so anime. This is Pathfindery.
This is, these and the building blocks of, granted, they're not really, I guess they're trees more than building blocks. Definitely feels Pathfindery.
Yeah, so whenever a creature within 60 feet of you fails a saving throw against a spell you cast, you can expend any number of hit die, which grows a lot, equal to the level of the spell. Okay, so not all of them. Sorry. And roll a number of hit die equal to half the number of the hit die expended, and the damage that triggers the damage the triggering creature takes increases by an amount equal to the total roll of the dice. So it's just a resource that sits there, so that sometimes people never use. It increases a risk reward thing of maybe you get through this encounter and use all this, but you're not going to heal when you rest.
You can even use those in outside combat.
Yeah.
If you fail, fail. If a friend of yours fails a charisma, say like a persuasion check, then boom, you could just try this bad boy and see if it helps.
It's so fun. And then there's divine communication, which I didn't get too much.
Dude, I hate those.
Yeah, it's
divine communication, divinely favored. I don't know why anyone would ever pick, because they build off each other. So you'd have to get divinely favored first, and then you have to get divine communication. That seems like two absolute wastes of a feat.
Yeah, they're not too great. So hopefully they change this. Not a big fan.
I also don't understand.
And not all warlocks are evil, damn it.
Yeah, there.
You get.
I don't understand the prerequisite to make it 4th level, because that's when you can get your first feat, period.
Yes.
So it'd be impossible for you to have gotten the other feat first, which is also a prerequisite.
Though the divine communication thing may be a faction that exists when you got a first level feat.
Maybe.
I don't know. So there's a lot of information missing from this. It's definitely a snippet
be, yeah.
of shit that's going on.
Gotta be.
But then you get into the initiative, high sorcery, and a bunch of other stuff that comes down here, and it's all really cool. We don't need to get into it too much, but know that there's more hit die usage in exact ways you would think a knight increasing his willpower or powering through something would do. Like, they're really fun to me.
Which is crazy. That these are the feats you get from the background for first level. They're pretty strong for first level. They add a lot to your first level character.
Oh, it's almost like first level characters are now actually characters instead of empty husks that do nothing.
No. Almost like it.
Almost
At least
like
these guys are.
At least these guys are. Honestly, I was reading these, and a lot of the ones for the knights, I'm like, I want something like this for the fighter that I'm about to make.
Advantage on saving throws made to avoid falling off a mount. Gain proficiency with medium, which maybe they're going to have some mount-based combat in this book will come out.
Maybe. Cavalier fighter. There you go.
Because the mount stuff kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does. All right. But that's everything.
That is everything in here. I dig it. So what do you think is coming? You were just getting a base Dragonlance book? Or do you think we're going to get, I don't know.
No, don't do it.
A Planescape book?
I think eventually, but I definitely think this says
we need the GIF. We need the elephant guy.
They're definitely, could be wrong. I don't know what they're doing. But my guess is a Dragonlance rework, because they're trying to make a lot more stuff.
So you think it'd be a Dragonlance like setting book with these in like a player section?
A revamped, more culturally inclusive Dragonlance with not all of the institutions of old fantasy writing that have led people to feel less included or insulted, I guess. So people are like, well, Dragonlance is racist. I can't believe you guys are working on it. Well, haven't they been trying to make things less racist and re-releasing them? Isn't that good? It's interesting. It's kind of like old theater productions, these directors that still exist that have plays that have questionable content in them. Maybe your group of thespians don't want to do the play as is, but like, if you change it, I will sue you. This kind of stuff like that in the fantasy world still. So I found this while I was researching, see if there was anything for Dragonlance for 5th edition. There's not currently. There also hasn't been any announcements, but knowing our luck, there'll probably be some announcement like day before this episode comes out. Yeah.
We won't be able to talk about it. But Tracy Hickman and Laura Hickman, the husband and wife team that originally made Dragonlance, and I didn't know this, they also made Ravenloft. Like originally back in the day. They're the people that made Strahd von Sedovich.
That's interesting, because I saw a lot of people saying, oh man, I can't believe what they did with Ravenloft. Like, that was a dumpster fire. They're probably gonna do the same thing with Dragonlance. Little do we know that they're more connected than.
Well, they made the original.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if they have any hands in the new stuff.
I think people were just saying they screwed up Ravenloft, so they'll probably screw up Dragonlance.
Makes me wonder. That one has some culturally problem stuff. Dragonlance has some cultural problem stuff. Maybe these people got some problems with the culture, racism, or something. I don't know these people. But the reason I brought it up is because apparently they're making a new. The Hickmans are making a new setting called Sky Raiders of Abarax.
Me?
Cool, I guess. But I found interesting that the guys that created Dragonlance are making their own setting now that has something to do with D&D. It's going to be in 5th edition, but it hasn't with WotC anymore.
Yeah. There's so much controversy around this. A lot of people that I read immediately under the thread that are very vocal, maybe they're a minority, saying they don't like it. I'm on the exact opposite spectrum. This is the first thing I've gotten.
It's the first thing I've seen in a while. I've been like, I like this direction.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comments below what you think about this. Do you like these? Do you hate these?
I'm going to out you right now. Coley Frog, thank you for always commenting. Even though you're already in the Discord, we talk to you a frequent amount. But
yeah, sometimes. So if you also want to comment or it seems too long, you don't want to comment on YouTube, though I will say it does help the algorithm if you comment on YouTube. You can always message in the listener comments section in our Discord as well.
Also, don't know if we mentioned it, but thanks for 200.
Oh, yeah. We're at 2. I'm not going to say it.
Something?
Oh, I'm not going to say it because I know someone's going to unsubscribe or make me look like a jackass.
We're at 1 million.
We're at like enter number here.
I was watching the YouTube videos, Dank Pods. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but it's this Australian dude, super, super funny. And he got to 1 million. And he goes, "What's 1M? And why do I have one of them?" I don't know why it was one funny.
We'll be there one day, man.
One day, 1 mil. I feel like we can do it grind enough, but
then we'll get one of those things we put on the wall right here. How cute would that be? Actually,
so
I don't know what we would do with that nonsense.
Jamie has a sticker printer.
Oh, we can just put stickers back here?
Plaster them on that.
Put like our faces?
Yeah, cool. Or anything that we've got.
I could put it at the university and the campus. Put it up. We put it in front of local game stores. We'd be those people.
Slap them on signposts.
I just stand outside the LGS, say, "Here, take this."
No, you just unpeel and you just put them on their back and you say,
like a kick me sticker?
Yeah, kick me, but listen to my podcast, rate me on. Oh, sorry. But yeah, let us know what you think about this. I don't know. I enjoyed this. If you want to talk to us on social media or throw any things our way, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think of the turnaround time. Like, when do you think we'll actually see these in a book? Because recently...
It's been so inconsistent.
Recently, they've been a little faster, besides the Mages of Strixhaven thing, because I already knew that was coming out.
But you forget they flopped the releases and moved things around.
We have no idea. Once the Call of Netherdeep book comes out next week, by the way, we have no idea what's coming next for 5th edition WotC sanctioned stuff. They've said absolutely nothing, which boggles my mind that they've been this quiet.
Yeah.
Maybe they have nothing prepared for us.
I don't know.
Well, because it could make sense on the COVID pipeline if they had like the Ravenloft book planned already, if they had that almost finished, if they had some of these other books like Candlekeep, etc. Also, the multiverse already being worked on. Maybe now we're starting to slow down because of COVID. Like, it's finally catching up to things that they have not been able to.
A lot of companies I've seen are starting to catch up, but it depends on their supply chain logistics stuff and how they've worked it out. So I don't know.
Yeah. If you have not been able to get Monsters in the Multiverse, you won't be able to for another couple months. I still can't believe
that thing is out and not digitally yet.
Not digitally, or you can't buy it by itself yet.
May.
Yeah.
My God. That's crazy. But having been somebody who works in corporate settings, like it's so easy to get shit screwed up or slowed down.
Yeah.
So easy. But it's even easier to follow us on social media at
like
Dungeon Crawl Pod. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, we mostly use Twitter. I made a tweet today.
Yeah, I saw it.
I was having fun doing the research and looking at his stuff. So give that tweet a like. That's specifically that one.
Just that one, yeah.
But which one is it? Better like all of our tweets. Don't know. We also have a Discord. We mentioned it earlier. Pretty frequently we get people who comment within the Discord now when an episode comes out and says, "Hey, this, that." So if you want to join, or maybe you've got some playtest material, or you have some free time, you want to jump in, get to know us a little bit over a week or so, we think you're cool enough, maybe we can let you in one of our games. I don't know. For example, we've got a 5e Zelda campaign that's going right now. It's open for people to watch or jump in and out as we have players go around, and then a bunch of other stuff. That's in the link tree. You can click in the description. Below. The other thing that is also in the link tree is our Patreon. If you've ever supported us or are currently supporting us throughout these times, we very much appreciate you. Probably scrolling on the screen at this moment right now. I didn't mention our email, thedungeoncrawlpod@gmail.com, if you want to give us any sort of sponsorships or big inquiries that cannot be held within a character limit somewhere else in the world. I don't know. Or you just feel like being fancy. That's all I got.
Yeah, Discord has a character limit.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I've hit it a few times.
It's spamming emotes. Or like actually writing it.
No. Oh, like actually writing.
It's always when I spam out an email that's got a really long code for it. And it's like,
it only happens whenever I'm sending people lore for my world. Because I'll type it in a document outside of Discord just for my own sanity, and then someone else will say, "Hey, can I have
OneNote?" Whenever you copy paste from OneNote, it gives it as an image.
I will say, Jamie's the only person I've ever talked to that actually liked that. I said, I'm sorry that it sent as a picture to her one time. And I was like, I can send it as a link or like text. She said, no, it's easier for you to find it. I'm like, okay.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But last thing before we end today's episode,
okay.
is as I'm sure Braxton's aware,
Oh,
I have a jacket on here. It's one of those jackets that has a hoodie, but also has like pockets on the inside. You can put your hands on when it's cold, which it is very cold outside still. But I'm sure we'll be 80
It was hot
in
one
like
day,
2 days.
a couple days ago.
But it's keeping me nice and warm. And on the way over here, I have a little like laptop case bag that I walk over with, and I put everything inside of it. But I had a free hand, and with that free hand, it was getting chilly because it's cold. I could feel like the icicles growing on my hand, and so I put it in.
It's like 40 degrees outside, guys.
Sorry, yeah, it's not that cold. It was really cold. Yes, last night was 19 degrees.
It was chilly.
That's cold. But regardless, I was sticking my hand into my pocket to keep it a little warm, and you would not believe I pulled out a whole laptop from inside my. It's pretty small in here, but it was a mini laptop.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have those, but in some multiverse, I guess I grabbed it and pulled it out.
You're Kender.
Yes, but the craziest thing, completely like no lock on it, no like passcode, which is they're asking for bad things to happen there.
This is where we would put a sponsorship for a VPN.
Yeah, perfect. But I opened it because I was curious. As you can see, I don't have it anymore. I gave it to someone on the way over here. But on it, this is why I gave it away, because on it, it had Apple Podcasts open.
Oh, wow.
And they just left a nice rating, but they did not leave a review for us. They just hit the 5-star button and walked away, I guess. Or maybe I pulled it out of the ether while they were typing that message. So there was actually my neighbor was walking underneath us, or walking by me. Sorry, no, underneath us. My neighbor from underneath me was walking by, and I said, hey, I know you got a dog with you and you're busy, but could you please finish this review and rate us 5 stars? And over the app was out. She said no, but I gave it to her anyway and walked off.
You know what?
What's that?
We have 23 ratings and we're at 4.8, which is
some
not...
just 1 star. You see that?
Oh, what?
See that right there?
Why?
It's probably because I keep talking about it.
Where?
You see it right there?
I know. Why would you do that?
I don't know. Everyone else has done 5 stars or 4 star, and then there's always one guy out there that's got to do like.
I feel like 23 ratings is not insignificant.
No, it's not, because it's not. It's It's.
I mean, it's not like one of them. Some of them are my friends, and I think one's me.
One's me too. I'm sure.
So we've got 20 ratings. Let's have do they have an actual? Okay, yeah, these guys are awesome. I hate pants.
Awesome.
Glad to see some felt 2 years ago.
Yes. Yeah. So please head over there, rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice rating. I know a lot of people don't listen to Apple Podcasts as much anymore. Some people are more Spotify or.
Well, the audio space and podcast space is changing a bit.
It is.
Just with how they're being hosted online and whatnot. But let me get on a Buzzsprout real quick. We've grown a lot, and
we have. I don't know who's sharing this podcast.
Like every single week. I think we get about 150 or to 200 people view that listen, or at least that press the play button. So
that's no joke.
Big thanks. But what I want to ask is, it still just? It's the only one.
Which one?
It's the only one.
Best D&D. Well, because the problem with that one is those have finished now.
Yeah.
Those Kickstarters are not in there anymore.
Go click on it. Just click on it once.
Yeah, look, kind of I hit it.
It's the only. I've tried.
I'm gonna hit it right now and see what happens.
I have tried.
Best D&D Kickstarters. Go find it. It's a pretty old episode.
Let me see.
It's a pretty old episode.
It's all time. We've had a really consistent growth, like a graph you're looking at. We're getting to, this is our shareholder meeting, but
here we go.
Look, Ryan, we were at a pretty consistent slump for like a year, and then February and March consistently just went straight up.
What happened here? Oh, it's because we're in the middle of it.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it.
I was like, what? We went way down.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. But if you look at the actual graph.
Look at that. Look at that little bump. You can see a little bump right there? Look at that.
Yeah. So hell yeah. So thank you guys.
Thanks for looking at our stats for those guys.
Hell yeah. It was fun.
Thanks for sitting while we waffle as well. I know sometimes we probably waffle longer than people would like us to, but hey.
Yeah, it was a fun beginning of this one. But I was excited about this podcast in particular because I think there was a lot of background stuff that went with that UA that made it fun. So, as always, he's Ryan.
He's Braxton.
No.
We're the Dungeon Crawling for crawling with us.
Dungeon.
We'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll see if we can get it done in time. We'd like to do the new Critical Role, Call It Another Deep
Yes,
review.
can't say he can make it.
He's gonna try it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Our good friend Kenneth will hopefully be on the
Right here
episode
next time. We know the mic works well.
True. Yeah. So we're gonna do our best to get it done, but because of the turnaround time, it might not be possible. So if not, we'll do that the week following. But we will see. And if you do get it ahead of us or whatever, please let us know what you think of Call of the Nether Deep because it looks cool.
Hell yeah. See ya.
Peace.
I don't know what that was.
Like the video.
Like it.